Alright guys, so today is going to be a fun vlog because today I'm going to be reviewing the Sony ECM-XYST1M. And yes, I memorized that name before this video, so even if you don't make it through this whole video, please give me a thumbs up for that at least. So first things first, what comes with the microphone? Documentation. About 95% of this is written in a different language, and the English part just tells you what is in the box. So I did not find this particularly helpful. A carrying pouch. I like to put the microphone in this and then in a more cushioned, protected camera bag. I don't usually put the microphone in this alone and throw it in my bag, but it's still a pretty nice pouch. I like it. A spacer. The way this works is that some cameras, the hot shoe that you put the microphone on, here, this is how it works. The flap over the hot shoe sometimes can come up and hit the microphone and cause some unwanted noise. This keeps the flap from making contact with the microphone. Pretty nice to have. I have never used it, so I can't speak to the quality of it. It seems like it would do what it's supposed to do though. Connector cap. This just goes on the very bottom of the microphone. This just protects the connector from getting dusty, damaged, whatever might happen to it. This is also nice to have. Connecting cable. As you can see, I have never used this. You can use this to connect to Sony a6000, anything that's newer than an a6000 basically. You can connect the microphone through the microphone output to your audio jack to be able to control the microphone levels. I shoot with this microphone on top of the a6000, which does not have the option to connect through this cable. The windscreen, pretty standard windscreen. You can use this elastic band to wrap around the microphone. One thing I don't like about this windscreen is that there is a seam right in the middle of it. The worst spot for a seam to be, and if that seam does go over the microphones, it will compromise your audio quality. And putting this windscreen on is kind of hard to tell where exactly the seam is. It's hard to feel it, so you're kind of just guessing and hoping that it's not over the microphone. That I don't like about this windscreen. And finally, the microphone itself. So let's talk about this microphone for a second. It has a few features. It has a lock knob right here, which loosens and tightens the microphone onto the hot shoe on top of your camera. It's very useful. I mean, it does its job, but it's never felt like it's gonna fall off. It's never been loose. It's never been knocked loose. And I have bumped the microphone a few times, so it holds it in place on top of the camera. It also has a shock mount that's built into the camera, so it keeps any shakes. It minimizes noise from any shakes or wobbliness that you might have in your video, especially if you're shooting handheld. And the fact that it's built inside of the microphone means that this microphone is even more portable, which I love. One thing to notice, I don't know if you can hear that, the switch on here actually shakes and causes noise that the microphone does pick up. You can just tape over it. That's usually what I do. It's an easy fix, but something to look out for. Speaking of the switch, it has two options, normal and low cut. I always shoot in low cut, and I will go over the reasons why in a bit. And finally, as I talked about earlier, the microphone output that you can connect to compatible cameras to be able to control the audio levels of this microphone, which is very nice. And now the actual microphone is right here. It's a dual microphone. There's two options for this microphone. You can point it at the 0 degree setting like it is right now, or the 120 degrees setting, pointing out, and it's pretty self-explanatory. 95% of my videos I will shoot with the 0 degree option because it gives kind of like a shotgun microphone effect where it kind of blocks out the noise to the sides of the microphone and from behind, and it really focuses in on your subject, on whatever you're pointing on, which I love about it. However, you can get kind of cool effects of the 120 degree option, especially listening to video through headphones. You can hear what's happening on the left side through your left headphone. You can hear what's happening on the right side through your right headphone. So you can get kind of cool effects using that. I always shoot this way. Okay, so this whole video was shot using the onboard microphone to the Sony a6000, and now we are going to be using the Sony ECM-XYST1M microphone. The framing is a little different, but the camera is still the same exact distance away from me, so you can hopefully hear a little bit of difference in audio quality, because with this microphone it does reach a little bit farther. So let's talk about my experience so far with this microphone. I've been shooting with this microphone for a couple months now. First thing I notice on this microphone is its audio gain. So first off, I'm just going to talk about what audio gain. Hopefully this microphone is canceling some of that noise. So first off, I want to just talk about what audio gain is. Vibrations travel through the air as sound into the microphone. So for example, vibrations from my voice box is traveling through the air into the microphone. These vibrations have a voltage, however this voltage is way too low to be useful. What the microphone does is that it electronically raises the voltage of these sound waves until they're strong enough to be able to be used in a video for you to be able to hear me through this video right now. That amplification of the voltage of these sound waves is what audio gain is. That's what the gain comes from. It amplifies the sound. So because I can't control the audio levels of this microphone through the Sony a6000, the audio gain is automatic and it raises it just a tiny bit too high. You may not be able to hear it right now because there's a little bit of background noise going on. It's a little bit louder out here and it does better in louder environments, but in a quiet room you can hear distinct hissing noise, and that's because the audio gain is just a little bit too high. With a camera such as the Sony a6300, a6400, the a7R II, anything basically that's newer than the Sony a6000, you have this cord and you can control the audio levels. It's not going to be as much of a problem with you. But if you're considering this microphone for the a6000, because it's one of the few microphones available for the a6000, you will have to worry about that hissing noise in quiet environments. I spoke earlier about the low cut option. This is the reason why I keep it on low cut, because low cut is pretty much what it sounds like. It cuts out the quieter noises, and this kind of helps to cut out a little bit of that hissing background noise. I also always shoot with the windscreen on for that same reason, to try to eliminate some of that hissing noise. It's not a fix for it. It doesn't completely cure the problem, but it helps a little bit. One vlogging specific point I would like to make is that while I was shooting without this microphone for about 1.5 years, I got used to being able to narrate from behind the camera and point the camera at whatever I was talking about. With this microphone you cannot do that because it's so directional. It doesn't capture noise from the sides or from behind very well. So even though it's not going to affect all of you who are watching this video right now, just depending on what kind of video you're shooting, I do think it's something that needs to be brought up, that if you want to be heard by this microphone in the 0 degree setting, you have to point it towards you. Okay, and now that I have talked your ears off about this microphone, I'm going to let's go out and test it out so you can hear for yourself. Okay, we are back here at the lake. There's a lot going on. Cars driving on this side, there's people walking on this side. Plenty of noise to go around to give this microphone a real test and show you guys how exactly it sounds. There's a couple tests that I want to do before this sun sets. We got about 10 minutes. So first off, I want to show the directionality of the microphone. This is with the external microphone attached. So I'm going to be turning around and you can hopefully be able to tell that it does block out noise from the cars behind me when it's turned away from the cars, and it focuses in on my voice a little bit more compared to this onboard microphone, which is most likely having a harder time blocking out this outside noise from the cars. I can't hear it right now. I'll only hear it when I edit post-production, but I will not edit the audio, so you guys can decide for yourself what you think of the difference between the onboard microphone, which I'm recording with right now, and the external microphone, which was earlier. So for this next test, I'd like to illustrate the range of the external microphone. This is the onboard microphone, and I'm about 8 feet away from the camera. Lots of background noises going on. And this is using the Sony ECM-XYST1M external microphone. Same distance, 8 feet apart. Still a little bit of background noise behind the camera. Let me know what you think. That's about it, everybody. Sun's going down. I did want to get through those 2 tests before the sun went down just to illustrate the noise cancellation and the range of this microphone. I know that I can't get through every single thing about this microphone in this short video, so anything that I missed, go ahead and leave that in the comments below and I'll get right back to you. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that it was helpful, and I hope to see you in future vlogs.